Okay, welcome to the Tacks Collective heuristics evaluation. As we discussed, due to our really jam-packed schedule, we thought it would be best to go ahead and just screen record this presentation and screen share it. So that way we don't need to really deal with our schedule conflict. And I have sent the report to you as well, so you can look off that. But I'll go ahead and start. So what I did was I did the heuristics evaluation for the website that that you put up for our users, and I went through the 10 heuristics to get a feel for how the website is performing based on the heuristics themselves. So let's go ahead and started with feedback principle. The question I wanted to ask was, is there a notice that shows that users have sent in the form? So on the site, there's an application form, which is one of the most important parts of your site, because you want the potential apprentices or potential mentors to sign up for this program. So what I found was there is it does tell users that there was an error, as you can see from the red box there, which is great. However, I tried this on multiple days and the form never worked. So that's something that to keep in mind, that the form actually doesn't even work on the site. Um, Moving on, metaphor principle. The question I asked, one of the questions I had for this was, do icons on the site represent the objects that associate in the real world? For example, in a lot of e-commerce sites, there's a shopping cart icon because in real life we have shopping carts. And what I found is all these icons that you used all represent real world things, except for maybe the legit icon that you can see um, on that bottom left picture that maybe don't really know what that is, but other than that, all these other icons are very self-explanatory. Other part of metaphor principle, does the copy speak in a natural tone of voice that users can actually understand? I saw this one page, the interrogatives. I mean, it's a higher end vocabulary, which is nice, but may not be clear to a wide range of audience. Also, they're very kind of wordy paragraphs that are full of great information, but for the most part, users kind of skip long paragraphs. So that's the problem with that. But in terms of actual copy and the word, it does fit the natural tone of voice. And lastly, with metaphor principle, does the copy match the vernacular seen in design and advertising world? And especially with this particular page, it did. Um, just for example, on web and interactive, the development team is made up of experts in all things code. Call on them to build your website, app, ads, or event experiences is what they do. So it's very casual kind of language, which is nice. Next, moving on, navigation principle. Is it easy to navigate around the site? The nav bar on the top of the page is easy to follow, which is good, except that contact link on the far right, it doesn't, you would think most websites contact take you to a section where the users can contact, email or phone someone from this company. However, this link actually takes you to the application, the actual really important part of the site. So maybe a little bit of a mislabeling there. Also, this nav, it doesn't scroll with the website, so people have to scroll all the way back up to access this nav. So yeah, it's not a sticky nav. A sticky nav would have made it easy to access various pages. Another thing with navigation principle, is it easy to navigate around the site? Well, this section is confusing. This is on the home page, because just looking at this, you can't tell what these pictures mean until you hover over them. When you hover over them, then the hover state appears. But that's kind of an extra step that users have to do. So what if you just had those, just the hover, or sorry, the text, the titles of what these pictures lead to without hovering on them. Also, some of these links, they take you to the exact same page, meaning if you click on, let's say, the gentleman's picture there, it takes you to the exact same page as the woman's picture, the profile shot of the woman. So it's kind of redundant. Okay, consistency principle. Are the fonts and colors the same throughout the site? Do the words retain the same meaning throughout the site? Yes, great job. This was actually extremely consistent site, so thumbs up. Prevention principle. Any way to prevent users from making errors? This is a form, and when they submit this without, typing in the right form, the right sections, then an error will pop up saying, please submit this field, but there's no notice which fields are mandatory, which fields are optional. So it would be helpful if there's something to kind of make that stand out. Memory principle. Is the site asking to simply recognize information, or do users have to recall specific details? How much remembering do the users have to do? Well, again, going back to my previous point, there is a lot of copy and information to remember. These paragraphs are pretty long, and it's just a bit much to ask the users to remember all of this. Efficiency principle. Any shortcuts or autofills? A quick way for users to get what they want? Again, going back to the nav, it helps, but you must scroll up and down to access this nav. So again, a sticky nav would have been much more efficient. Design principle. Is the design clean and simple? Does the design make the typography easy to follow and understand? Yes, it's great. You are a designer, so I expected this from you. Excellent design, so great job with that. Recovery principle. Are error messages easy to understand? Are error messages specific? Yeah, I thought that the forms were clear and specific. When you do try to submit a form without filling out exactly what you need, it will tell you, this field is required. Or if you try to upload a document, it'll tell you this file type is not allowed. So that's good. Good job. Help principle. If there is a help documentation, is it easy to locate? Is it clear and understandable? Well, there's not really a help documentation, but there was a way for them to phone or email you in case they had questions. But I feel like they should be placed in that contact link on the navigation menu, because if you just click on contact, it actually takes you to the application form, which is a bit confusing. So in conclusion, here's what's great about the site. The icons match what people experience in the real world. Forums tell users if there's an error and where the error is. The copy uses vocabulary that fits the product. Top nav bar is mostly easy to follow. Site design is consistent and clean. And phone and email are not tucked away under multiple pages. So great job. Awesome. So these are things that you should definitely keep on the site. However, here's how to create a better user experience. Some things that you could change. Form submission should work consistently, and this may be more of a back-end thing, so up to you of how you want to actually deal with this. A suggestion is have a video explaining the apprenticeship program and its benefits. Like a fun kind of short video that hits all the key points. And also, in terms of key points, use bullet points to cover main details rather than long paragraphs. Make the nav bar sticky so users can access it anywhere. Have separate application form link in a nav bar, and then the contact link should only have phone and email. So I suggest, since the application form is such a big deal, to have it as its own link on the nav bar. On the home page, don't rely on hover states. Label the pictures so people know where they go. Also remove any duplicate page links because that's just redundant. And lastly, on application, denote which fields are mandatory to fill out. And yeah, I mean, you'll be fine if you do all this. It's actually not too much if you think about it. It's just like about 7 things, 6 things if you don't count the form submission. I'm sure that's just a little back end thing that kind of messed up. But other than that, I felt overall, again, going back to this page, there are a lot of good things about the site, but at the same time, these are some really important things that would really enhance the user experience of the site. And yeah, that's about it for my heuristics evaluation. I hope you found that helpful, and let me know if you have any questions, and I can definitely help you out with that. Okay, thanks.